Everybody, how's it going? Welcome to another edition of NoDQ&A video right here on NoDQ.com and the YouTube channel, youtube.com/NoDQCAW. The road to Extreme Rules is underway. We are coming off Monday Night Raw from the Bilo Center in Greenville, South Carolina. With that being said, let's get right down to your questions. First one today comes from Hector Sanchez. Sup, Aaron? Now that we've all seen the way CM Punk reacted on Raw, it was not so heel-like. If he is to take some time off, do you think he will be turning babyface upon his return? I'm not so sure that he'll be turning babyface. I think that this was just a promo to write him off of storylines for the time being. CM Punk is taking time off to heal various injuries, and right now you have Extreme Rules with Triple H versus Brock Lesnar and most likely John Cena versus Ryback. So you have your top two matches, and there's really no need for CM Punk to be on the show. This is a good opportunity for him to take some time off. When he returns, I mean, there's already plenty of baby faces on Raw and SmackDown right now, and I think that CM Punk is best as a heel at this point. I think that it's too soon to turn him babyface, but you never know. The crowd was chanting CM Punk, CM Punk. They were really into him on Raw. So you never know what's going to happen with CM Punk. And definitely there's the talk about CM Punk versus Brock Lesnar at some point. So this could be an opportunity to turn one of them, and maybe WWE would decide to turn CM Punk. Who knows? We'll just have to wait and see. But if it was me, I would keep him a heel for the time being. All right, this one comes from Tyler Johnson. Hey Aaron, what did you think of Ryback turning heel? I thought it was surprising. Do you think the WWE backed off on Cena turning heel and went the safe route with Ryback turning heel? Please answer in video. Well, the plan was never to turn John Cena heel. Ryback turning heel was something that was talked about for several months. I mean, we were expecting it going into WrestleMania. There was a talk about Ryback as a heel against Chris Jericho, and WWE held off on it. And it was known that Ryback at some point would be feuding with John Cena again. The whole Royal Rumble thing with Cena eliminating Ryback, I mean, that was all part of a setup to do John Cena versus Ryback after WrestleMania. So no surprise that this feud is taking place now. As far as Ryback going heel, I mean, that's what WWE wants to do. They're not going to turn John Cena they're not going to turn John Cena heel. So, you know, they're going to change up Ryback and go in a different direction with him. I'm not so sure I liked the idea of him turning his back on John Cena. They were face to face, and John Cena wanted to fight, and Ryback just walked away. I think it would have been better if the Shield came down and then Ryback just walked away from that point. But to walk away from John Cena face to face, I mean, I wasn't really a big fan of that. I think it takes away from Ryback's character. I think he should still be very intimidating and not back away from anybody. And they could still have him be a heel and, you know, walk away when the Shield comes out and the Shield beats him down and Ryback does nothing. So if it was me, I liked what they did with the Shield coming down and Ryback just standing there, but I wouldn't have had Ryback turn his back on John Cena when they were face to face in the ring. That's the only thing I would have done different. And this next question here is also about Ryback and the Shield from WWE fan. Hey Aaron, do you think Ryback is part of the Shield considering he turned his back on Cena and let them attack him? No, that's not part of the storyline where Ryback's going to be affiliated with the Shield. The whole storyline here is that Ryback feels that John Cena never helped him out when the Shield was attacking him, so this was his way of getting payback on John Cena. John Cena getting a taste of his own medicine and knowing what it's like to not have somebody come to your aid. So that's what the whole storyline is there. It's not going to lead to Ryback and the Shield, and yeah, that's not something that's going to happen. All right, this one comes from Dens. Tonight's Raw had high and very low moments, like trying to help SmackDown out, but the low part for me was the segment with Cena and Ryback, the way they did the Punk scenario all over again, but was cheesy. And does it seem that John Cena's promo, the audience was getting tired of it? What are your thoughts? Well, the crowd was into the segment for the most part. You know, a lot of people complained about this week's Raw and that the crowd wasn't hot for anything, and it's unfair to compare this crowd to last week's Raw. I mean, everybody knew going in that this crowd wasn't going to match up to last week's crowd. Last week's crowd was all the die-hard WWE fans that came in for WrestleMania, and that's the kind of crowd you only get once in a year. I thought that this crowd actually was a good crowd by normal Raw standards. I mean, they did react to Cena, and people were cheering Cena, people were booing Cena, people were chanting "Feed me more." They were into the segment, I thought. So it doesn't seem to me like they're tired of it. I think people are happy that Ryback is in the main event picture because he's somebody who's a new character who's being built up. So I didn't have any problem with that segment. I actually thought it was very well done. All right, this one comes from Jordan. Hey Aaron, two-part question. Is the crowd at Raw any indication of WWE's target demographic, or was it just a terrible crowd? Cena, Punk, and Lesnar were the only ones that got any real reaction. With little reaction for the likes of Dolph and even Ryback, does this mean Dolph's run will be over shortly? I thought the crowd reacted decently to Dolph Ziggler. Now, of course, the thing with Dolph Ziggler is that WWE hasn't pushed him really hard besides him winning Money in the Bank. Dolph's been doing a lot of jobs on TV, and WWE really hasn't done much to build him up as a top-level superstar. So that could be a problem why Dolph isn't getting these huge reactions every single week. But, I don't know what's going to happen with Dolph's title run. Like I said, I think that this crowd overall was a good crowd, and, it was a sold-out crowd also. And, they reacted to the guys that get pushed hard. John Cena gets pushed hard, CM Punk gets pushed hard, Brock Lesnar gets pushed hard, and those are the guys that people bought into. And maybe Ryback didn't get the biggest reaction, but you know what? When Ryback loses 5-6 pay-per-views in a row, it's going to take away some of his momentum. But I still thought that the crowd did react to Ryback, and they booed heavily when he turned his back on Cena. So I mean, they were reacting to the storylines. All right, this one comes from Matt Olette Music. Hey Aaron, do you have a logical explanation why they had Ziggler lose clean on Raw? Thinking WWE wants Swagger to be over, but Ziggler is over, so punish Ziggler rather than take advantage of his being over. I don't know. Maybe there's no logic. Your thoughts? Well, clearly it looks like WWE is building up towards a triple threat match for Extreme Rules, which I think is fine. I think that's a good way to go, and keep Jack Swagger in the mix. You invested so much in him, and you might as well try to get one more big match out of him. So I like the idea of a triple threat for Extreme Rules, and it only makes sense. You got to make Swagger a contender for this. So how do you do that? You got to have him get a win over the champ. Obviously, Alberto Del Rio is allowed to have a title match, a rematch. So you got to do something with Jack Swagger to get him back in the mix and make him, a top contender. So have him beat the champion, and then he has an argument for having a world title match, and then just like that, you can make a triple threat for Extreme Rules. So I didn't really see any issues with it. All right, this one comes from Clayton Blum. Aaron, I like the idea of putting Dolph Ziggler into a triple threat match right off the bat. If the match goes right and they book him with a clean win, it instantly wipes the clean slate from all the jobbing he did before he got the belt. What do you think? Well, they definitely need to do something with Dolph Ziggler. He's the world champion, and they got to treat him like the world champion. Like I said, I don't have an issue with the Swagger beating him to get the title match, but from this point forward, I think that Ziggler needs to get some big wins, and I'd like to see him as a long-term champion. I think that he deserves a chance to run with the ball, and my concern is, either at Extreme Rules or the next pay-per-view, he's just going to lose the title and just go right back to where he was before he won the title. So I think that would be a huge mistake. I think that, I'm concerned because historically the world champion, not just Dolph Ziggler, but before him, guys like Jack Swagger, they'd win the title and they'd just do job after job after job and then lose the title. So I'm really hoping that's not the case here with Dolph Ziggler. And I'd like to see him get a nice win at Extreme Rules and continue to build momentum as world champion. Aaron, with the fans getting behind Fandango, do you see them turning him face or fight against a crowd like Bryan did during his whole breakup with AJ? I feel he is going face. With so many long-term faces most likely going heel, WWE will need more faces. How do you feel? Well, based off Raw this week, it seems like they're going to be keeping him as a heel for the time being. He came out there and had the people say his name, and then he said that they didn't say it right, and he just walked away. So to me, that indicates that WWE is going to keep him as a heel for the time being. And I think that's the way to go for the time being. I think that he needs to establish himself further before you commit to turning him face. I think that he's just debuted a few months ago, so give him some time to continue to develop his character, and maybe down the line, if people continue to cheer for him, turn him babyface. But for now, I think he's best off as a heel. Thank you guys, as always, for watching NoDQ&A video. Subscribe, youtube.com/NoDQCAW. Keep spreading the word on Facebook and Twitter, and I will see you guys next time for more NoDQ&A video.